of the other people in the room. But these people have sued the party, they've sued officers as individuals for their actions as officers in the party. And they have worked to ensure that none of those funds can go towards fighting for liberty and supporting our candidates.
Stop with that
So,
line, please.
thank you everyone for listening to the opening remarks. With that, we will call to order and begin our official agenda. So,
With
We are now called to order
called to
at
order, I move
9:50.
to censure the chair for his opening remarks.
the first item of business is the report of the Credentials Committee.
I move
May I
to
have a
censure the
representative?
chair for his opening
You're not
remarks.
recognized, Mr. King. Please have a seat. Do we have a representative from the Credentials Committee who can give a report?
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully cooler heads are going to start to prevail. So the total delegation we have is 68. So that is, a little lower than we like, obviously. Well, anyways, I don't think it was for a lack of notice. Majority 35, 2/3 44, 7/8 60. So that's the report as of 49. 68 total, 35 majority, 44 2/3, 60 7/8. It was over. Yeah, I have to go back and remember. I'll check it out.
Thank you very much. Do we have any objection to the credentials report? Hearing none, I call the credentials report as adopted. All right. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
I move to amend the agenda.
Just one moment, I'll recognize you. So we have the initial proposed agenda provided in the credentials pack, in the convention packet. Anyone that purchased one should have a paper copy. If you did not purchase a convention packet, it is available on the website as a PDF. And you can access that on the michiganlp.org website. And the first item on our menu is convention, and you'll find the link to the convention packet on that page if you do not have access to it. With that, I believe, recognize Mr. Brungart from the floor.
The first one, the park point of personal privilege, the mics aren't on.
There's a button. It's on the bottom. Let me. There is on the bottom side a very small button. As a general note for today's business, only speakers who are present at a microphone are going to be recognized. We have 2 different floor microphones, and I will generally, as a rule, alternate between them to recognize speakers. So it is up to members on the floor to align at those, and we'll go back and forth, so try to do your best to manage a queue in that. So, Mr. Brungart, you have the floor.
Joe Brungart, Ortonville. I'd like to raise a point of order. The adoption of the agenda is currently listed as before the adoption of the rules, and per Romer 5911, the official organization of the convention is brought about by the separate consideration and adoption of the reports of 3 committees mentioned above. Why am I reading the wrong? Well, anyway, the Romer says that adoption of the rules has to precede adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Your point is well taken, and I will scratch my previous item, and we will consider first adoption of the convention rules. Did everyone that bought a packet or have access to those have the convention rules in front of them and have an opportunity to take a look? Or is there anyone that would like me to review them in closer detail? Perhaps it's a better question. If anyone would like to have them read through in detail, if I could maybe see a brief show of hands. Otherwise, we'll just consider it the adoption. If there is no objection,
rules? Yes.
I would like to propose a additional convention rule
Okay, you have
that, yes, for the consideration of the platform report, I would like to propose that there be one time for two arguments, one in favor and one opposed to each proposal, and that no amendments be made from the floor.
Okay, do we have a second for that motion?
Second.
All right, we have a second. Do we have any discussion, Mr. Thomasino, would you like to start by speaking to your motion?
Yes, we have 11 proposals, and in the current agenda, approximately an hour and a half to do that. I'm just interested in completing that report in an efficient manner.
Thank you. So the impact of this motion would be to limit debate on platform proposals to one comment for and one comment against. And then we would move to a vote on adoption of the proposal as presented in the report without opportunity for amendment.
Point of information.
Do we have further discussion? A point of information, Mr. Johnson?
Lawrence Johnson, here I'm raising, is this a simple majority on the amendments to the?
The rule amendment would be a majority vote
Okay.
to adopt this rule proposal? That's correct.
Also, agenda is also a simple majority, correct?
That's correct, a majority vote
thank
to
you.
adopt the agenda, yes. Mr. King, are you seeking to be recognized? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to consider the rule change regarding the platform amendment process. Do we have any further discussion of this proposal?
Yeah, hi, Scotty Bowman. I personally think this is a bad idea. I don't think that we should hamper the ability of delegates to amend platform planks. I think it would be each plank taken on its own may or may not be in need of amendment. And I think we should leave that to the delegates when we get to that part of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Do we have any further discussion before we move to a vote? All right, hearing no more discussion, we will proceed into the vote on the proposal to limit one pro comment and one against comment, and to restrict amendments to the platform proposals. All of those in favor of adoption of this rule, please raise your hand. And only people who have delegate badges, please. If you're an alternate that has not been elevated yet, please refrain from a vote. So this is in favor of the rule to limit the platform amendment process and debate process. Okay, thank you very much. If I could have everyone lower their hands, and all of those opposed, please raise your hand. The motion will fail. All right, do we have any further amendments to the convention rules?
I move to amend the rules. Well, it is a point of order actually, because our bylaws in section 6, chapter 6, section 5 says that we have a simple majority vote on anything other than what's listed there. So rule number 4 and rule number 5 are not in order. So I move to amend those.
First of all, let me address your point of order. The point of order is not well taken. My reasoning is that those bylaws are in the nature of rules of order, and therefore, as such, are possible to be suspended. In this case, this is
So I
representing
appeal the ruling of the
special. Let me finish my ruling, please. In this case, these two rules represent the adoption of a special rule which exceeds the requirements in the bylaws. So therefore, given that it would be effectively a suspension and that the vote threshold to do so under the bylaws is in fact a majority, this body can opt to adopt these two elements if they so choose by a majority vote.
So I appeal the ruling of the chair.
Okay, the ruling is appealed. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. So the process for an appeal of the ruling of the chair is that the chair speaks first, which I've just done, and the chair will speak last. So I will then open the floor for any further discussion of this matter. The question before the body is, shall the ruling of the chair be upheld? and a majority vote is required to uphold the ruling of the chair. So do we have any further discussion?
I would like to speak toward Mr. King's motion. We have a credentialed parliamentarian at the table back there that assures us that this motion is in order and that it is correct for us to not adopt this. Because our bylaws specify other items that do require 2/3 votes, we cannot add to that list. That is his ruling. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's his opinion. Okay, that's that.
Thank you. All right, do we have any further discussion? Mr. Rowland, you have the floor.
Yeah, Scotty Bowman. I would urge delegates to, first of all, vote to overrule, and simply because it is the bylaws supersede any convention rules. However, also, the convention rules, to be approved, require a majority vote. So even if you don't have 2/3 to appeal the ruling of the chair, you can always vote against the convention rules until they're satisfactory.
All right, is there any further discussion?
Is it in order to make a motion to amend the motion?
We are considering currently an appeal of the ruling of the chair. All right, so, and that ruling was on the matter of whether those Rule 4 and 5 are in order.
Mr. Chair, if you could, before we go to a vote, just restate how we're voting.
Yes, I will summarize. I will also give a final argument for my ruling before we go to the vote. So I'd like to keep the floor open for any further comments from the floor before I close the further discussion and move through with that. If there is no further discussion, I will give my final statement as far in support with my ruling. As I said, that the bylaw for a majority vote required at threshold at convention is a bylaw that is in the nature of a rule of order. As such, it is suspendable by the body, by the vote threshold that it calls for, a majority vote. And so if the body chooses to adopt rules that would exceed those requirements in the bylaws, it is within their authority to do so. Therefore, the reasoning behind these rules is as follows. The first is very simple, that we have a lot of people here today. There's probably likely to be a lot of heated argument, and people are going to have a lot to say. The ability to speak twice on a question with 2 minutes each is a very reasonable allotment of time, but it also keeps things in check that the same item of business is not going to continue unchecked for hours at a time. It provides a way around it with that 2/3 vote threshold to overrule it. The second consideration of the rule with the motion to suspend the rules or end debate is simply a measure that protects members' rights. If you wish to limit other people's ability to speak in this body today, your right to do that is ensured as a member of the Libertarian Party under our bylaws and our operating procedures. If people wish to take your right to argue on a motion that you wish to argue on as a member, this rule creates a burden that they have to have 2/3 of the room in agreement with you to do that, because that is your right as a member, and it takes a higher threshold in a functional society. If we remove this rule, it creates a situation, as we've seen repeatedly in the last years, that an angry and dishonest majority will stifle the rights of potentially a 49% minority in any case. So this is a specific example of tyranny of the majority, and these rules protect your rights as a member to participate in this meeting to the extent that you are guaranteed under the bylaws. And without that, your protection for that is gone and at the mercy of the people that I described in my opening remarks. So with that, I will end the discussion on the motion and we will move now to our vote. As I said, the question before the body is, shall the ruling of the chair that rules 4 and 5 are in order be sustained?
Order to the day, Mr.
And
Chair.
these motions are proper under our rules. If the ruling is not sustained, these 2 rules will be stricken from the convention rules before we move to the vote of the adoption. So with that, all of those in favor of sustaining the ruling of the chair, which will preserve rules 4 and 5 on the proposed rule set, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. All those opposed, please raise your hand. All right, the ruling shall be overturned, which will strike rules 4 and 5 from the proposed rule set.
Mr. Chair.
We are back to the consideration of the overall convention rules, and I open the floor for further discussion on the rules.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Joe Brungart, Ortonville. I move that we adopt by substitution, the revised rules that I have just emailed to the secretary.
Do you have any physical copies of that?
No, I don't.
I would like to have a copy of that rule provided.
Since we haven't adopted the rules yet, that requirement is null and void.
I believe it is appropriate under parliamentary authority that motions presented to the body can be called for to be submitted in writing. I welcome the motion, but I need to have a copy of those given that we have to present them to the body.
Appeal the ruling of the chair.
The motion is still recorded at this time. I need a copy of those to refer to. Excuse me.
You have a printer right there, print it out.
3, 4, 5, 6 steps to this computer. The secretary can post them in the drive.
Seems like it's pretty easy. Control P. I'm saying, I want to look at it.
Oh wait, is your bedroom? Okay. We got it. No.
In the past, the rules have been off.
Sorry for setting up this right here, but I had a lot of people ask for a live stream. The other one is just being recorded.
How you doing, Bill?
I just moved to Ohio.
Sorry to hear that.
I suppose it was a true Michigander, huh?
Well, you know why Michigan is all on the Great Lakes, right? Because Ohio sucks.
I'm living in...
So we're going to need a printed copy of these rules. I would note that both the original and the proposed amended set of the rules specifically have included that all motions, resolutions, reports, and other material for permanent record or printer proceedings must be typed or hand printed and immediately upon presentation be given to the recording secretary. So while these rules are not yet adopted, it appears uncontested that that would be a reasonable practice, and I will need to have a paper copy of these proposed rules to consider this motion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I've just been informed that we have access to a printer. If the chair would give me 2 minutes to print them out,
Absolutely.
I can get them.
Yes, thank you very much. Please print 2 copies if it's not much of a minimum. We are just basically standing at ease for the moment, everyone, so let's not go too far from being ready to resume, but can take a moment to relax.
Oh no, this is higher. What's that action you guys have? I'm on my own
I have enough battery.
Joe, while we're waiting for them, do you mind explaining to us what the difference is between these? Well, then let somebody else do it.
If there is any members that are familiar with the changes in the substitute set of rules that would like to describe those just for general information while we are waiting, I would welcome any individuals from the floor. Or in the absence of that, I'll recognize speakers at the microphone. On the other side, I think you're in the right area.
I think it's turned on.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Mr. Chair, I'd like to be recognized.
You have the floor.
Ryan Brennan, Wayne County Delegate. I just wanted to make a quick observation that the two-thirds majority decision to allow people to speak twice on the same motion is eerily reminiscent of an argument that another member on the floor made against our platform committee amendment to restrict debate. I just wanted to make that clear that I saw that.
We are standing at ease, so I would recognize anyone that's not speaking on any motions or otherwise while we're waiting for the printing of the substitute rule set.
It's printing, Andrew.
It was recommended that while we're having this brief lull, as people may have heard, don't be like me and don't let your cell phone ring during the meeting. If anyone wouldn't mind to silence their phones and such to try to minimize interruptions throughout the business today. Yes. If your phone rings during business, I may shame you and ask you to make a small donation to the party.
That's fair.
raise money.
I can encourage a voluntary donation if you'd like to make a point of order, but I can't force that rule.
It seems like anything like, I had to bring an ultimate set of rules to this convention. Just kidding. Alright, bring their own documents, guys.
It's coming. Thank you very much. Okay. I've received a copy. If possible, to also get one to the secretary. That would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'll hand this one off in just a moment. So we have a proposed set of rule changes. If at the earliest convenience, the secretary would be able to put these proposed rules on the screen. And since people have not received these in advance, I will make a quick review through them and present them to the body. The rules are on the screen. If you can maybe enlarge them at the best of the possibility and scroll perhaps as I read through them. So the proposed rules are Rule 1, the Credentials Committee directly after the opening of the first business meeting shall report the number of delegates registered as present with proper credentials, and it will make a supplementary report at the beginning of each session the business continues. I believe that is the same as the existing rule proposal. Rule 2, the success or failure of any motion will be based on the number of delegates present and voting on that question. This is a basic matter of parliamentary procedure. It is redundant in that matter, but there's no problem to include it. It's identical to the rule that already governs the business if it is not adopted. Rule 3, to facilitate identification in the Assembly Hall, delegates are required to wear their badge issued by the Credentials Committee upon registration. This is identical to an existing proposed rule. Rule 4, no member may speak in debate more than once on the same question on the same day or longer than 2 minutes without permission of the convention granted by 2/3 vote without debate. So to the question that was raised, to the remark that was raised earlier about limiting debate, this proposal will limit debate further and only allow individuals to speak one time. The individual committee proposals to the convention for consideration, which shall be considered automatically moved and seconded. I believe that is identical to an already existing proposed rule. The convention will adjourn Rule 8 at 6 p.m. on Saturday unless 2/3 of the delegates vote to extend business. This is a new portion of this proposal, so this would limit our business from continuing in tomorrow as is currently planned. Rule 9, all motions, resolutions, reports, and other material for the permanent record or printer proceedings must be typed and hand-printed and immediately upon presentation be given to the reporting secretary. I believe this rule differs slightly as it is a universal requirement for that. Under the other proposed rules, that can be done under the discretion of the secretary. This will require, just as the long delay that we just had, will require any motion to be presented in writing. Rule 10, the rules contained in the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order newly revised will govern the convention in all cases to which they are applicable, unless such rule conflicts with the bylaws of the Libertarian Party of Michigan or these standing rules. That already is a redundant requirement that is considered in our parliamentary proceedings. I will recognize the secretary.
I move to amend the rules, rules 6 and 7, I believe, to wherever it states.
Go to the microphone, we can't hear you.
Louder, please.
Sorry, thought I was louder than I am.
Sorry, we generally would grant deference to the secretary due to his duties from having to go to a floor mic, but I'll let him use this mic.
Or then put the audio so I move to amend the rules, I believe it would just be 6 and 7, sorry, wherever the term platform committee chair or platform committee appears, add and bylaws and pluralize it to committees. Therefore, it applies to both the platform and bylaws committees.
Second.
Okay, so let me recap where we are at currently. We had before us a moment ago a motion to amend the rules by substitution, which was still before the body to be considered. And now we have a further proposal to amend those rules before they are adopted. So in that case, we will consider the proposal since it has been seconded as an amendment. If adopted, it will modify this procedure, these rules before us, and then we will consider whether to substitute this complete package for the initial rules that were before the body. This is the last layer. We can go deep. We cannot consider any further amendments until we have addressed this one at least. So, with that said, we will go into any debate around the proposal to amend all references to platform committee to include platform and bylaws committees in the proposed amended rule set. Is there any further discussion? Is there any objection to the change to consider platform and bylaws committees together in the proposed rule set? Hearing no objection, the proposed amendment from the secretary is adopted. So if adopted, that will be part of the rule set. That returns us to our second level. We are now considering whether to substitute the submitted rules with the amendment for the original proposed rules. So we are now at debate of this whole adoption by substitution consideration, and I will recognize Mr. Bowman at the microphone. If you could, on the bottom side of the microphone, there's a small red button. We can generally leave that on between speakers. You should see a red light on the front light up when you've successfully turned it on.
No, I have a lot of voice.
Check. Thank you very much for your help. Mr.
Okay, I want to take a quick look at Rule 9. I believe I want to move to strike, or amend the motion to strike Rule 9. Let me read that. Yeah, that's the one.
If I may make a friendly suggestion, Rule 3 in the original rules is substantively the same, but provides the discretion of the secretary to exempt from requiring that.
I just find it to be dilatory to have all motions and reports and other material in hard copy. So that's why.
Absolutely. So we have a motion to strike Rule 9 from the proposed rule set. So we're still considering the substitution, and we will now consider another amendment to the substitution.
Sure, was there a second?
Thank you. Was there a second to that? I hear one, so the motion is open for further discussion. This is now whether to strike the requirement for paper submissions.
Connor Nepomuceno, delegate from the Thumb.
Thank you, you're recognized.
I would like to argue against this motion. This motion makes the secretary's job that much more difficult and further lengthens the business that we have to deal with, so that the secretary has to work harder to catch up. And just as a matter of making records, good records, which Mr. Ziemba has done an excellent job over the last several years of that, why make his work harder? He normally submits finished minutes very, very shortly after the convention has completed. And if he has to work that much harder, it takes that much more time. And any sort of incongruity of the record of the motion that was made becomes the secretary's responsibility. So, striking this rule puts that much more liability on him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nepomuceno. Is there any further discussion regarding the amendment to strike the submission requirement?
Judge, we call the question from the floor, or do we have to do
I will ask throughout the day that it come from a microphone. However, since there's no further debate, we will go ahead and move to a vote.
May I?
Yes, you may be recognized.
So also, not to mention is that it's so much easier to submit electronic copies to the secretary. So I also would suggest to strike this rule.
Thank you very much. Do we have any further discussion before we move to a vote? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of striking Rule 9 from the proposed substitution rule set, please raise your hand. Thank you. You may lower. All those opposed to striking Rule 9, please raise your hand. I believe that passed, but I will entertain if there's any will from the floor to divide the question. I expect not.
I'll just have it come up and I'll transcribe whatever. We'll see.
Okay, so we have back to the proposed substitution rule set, absent Rule 9, and including the platform and bylaws amendment that was already adopted.
Connor Nepomuceno, delegate from the Thumb. I move to strike Rule 8, proposed Rule 8.
Okay, the proposed Rule 8 is that the convention will adjourn at 6 p.m. today unless 2/3 of the delegates vote to extend business. Do we have a second?
Second.
Having a second, we go into debate. Mr. Nepomuceno, would you like to speak to your motion?
The rule is superfluous because we will, after we adopt the rules, we will adopt an agenda, and that is the more appropriate time to debate this matter.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bowman, you may be recognized.
Yeah, I oppose the amendment to remove this. I believe that it is important to complete business today, and there's other convention activities scheduled for tomorrow that people can still enjoy. There's still an LEC meeting tomorrow that people can still attend. There are things going on tomorrow, but as far as the official business, I think it would be good to wrap this up in one day for those who are not able to participate tomorrow.
Do we have a speaker that wishes to be recognized on the microphone?
Look who's talking. I'm sorry,
Do you wish to be
Lawrence
recognized, Mr.
Johnson,
Johnson?
Huron Raisin. I support removing this rule specifically because of what we're doing right now. We have dragged this out so long, the possibility of us getting this business done today before we have to set up an event is nearly impossible. And we have things that we need to get done, and we have the room tomorrow. If we need to do business, we should be able to do business tomorrow. And the longer we discuss this, the worse it gets.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Do we have further discussion on the motion? Seeing no further discussion, or if anyone would like to be recognized, please come to the floor microphone.
I don't want to do that, bro.
I would ask any individuals that are delegates to come to a microphone if they'd like to speak, otherwise we will not be recognizing speakers from their seats. So, all right, we were going to go to a vote on this motion. Again, for a reminder to the body, we are considering whether to strike Rule 8 regarding the adjournment of today's convention at 6 p.m. unless 2/3 of the delegates vote to extend. So, all of those in favor of removing Rule 8, please raise your hand.
You want to be here tomorrow night?
No.
Or you want to be here?
I'm here tomorrow.
Okay, please all lower your hands, and all those opposed to striking Rule 8, please raise your hand.
So if you don't want to be here tomorrow, raise your hand. Just finish tomorrow.
Only 68 used to be able to do it.
I believe that is very close, and I would like to see a counted vote for that if we could. So, let's see, if we could perhaps facilitate that, what I would like to do is do the vote again. I'll ask individuals to stand and I'll point to an individual's account and ask you to be seated once I point to you, if that's all right. So I will keep the count. So we're going to repeat that vote. All of those in favor of striking Rule 8, please stand. And once I point to you, please have a seat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 in the back, 20, 21, and 22 at the table, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Ben, are you standing to vote? 29?
That was 28.
20 or 20 was?
He's 28.
John is 28?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, if we can have all of those who are opposed to striking the rule. We had 28 in favor of striking, and we'll do the same for the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. By a vote of 28 to 33, the motion to strike Rule 8 will fail. We'll keep Rule 8 in place. So we return with the dispensation of that motion to consideration of the proposed substitute rule set as amended.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Johnson, you have the
I don't
floor.
know what type of motion or whatever this is, if it's part
Feel
of
free to
the
help me.
middle of order, but Rule 8 is another implementation of 2/3 that is already defined in our bylaws and should not be allowed on those grounds.
So I believe that would be a point of order. Give me a brief moment.
It normally takes 2/3 to extend.
My ruling on that matter will be the same as my first one, which the body chose to overturn. But my ruling on that matter is the rule is in order because the majority vote threshold requirement is a bylaw in the nature of a rule of order that is suspendable, and therefore the act of adopting this rule would effectively be a suspension of the bylaw in the nature of the rule of order. So I'm ruling that it is in order to keep Rule 8. However, I would note that the body would be acting inconsistently if they choose to keep it. So if there's no appeal to
I
my
appeal the
ruling.
ruling of the chair. Again,
All right. So we have an appeal of the ruling of the chair, which is indicating that the 2/3, the chair's ruling is that the 2/3 threshold is allowable under the rules of order. That decision has been appealed. So would the consideration be that, I would like to clarify the intent of the individual that made the point of order. Is your intent that the entire rule be stricken for out of order, or just the provision about the 2/3?
Point of information.
One moment,
I think that just the striking.
2/3. That is, I believe, a fair consideration. So we are only considering whether the provision of the 2/3, this would remove only that vote threshold. If this ruling is overturned, the rule would become that the convention will adjourn at 6 p.m. on Saturday. So, if this decision is overturned, so.
can I speak
Yeah.
to my point?
You may speak we are now in the discussion of shall the ruling of the chair be upheld. I've given my ruling that it's in order to include, and you have the floor to speak on this motion.
Again, the rationale that Larry gave was exactly right. Our bylaws, because our bylaws specifically mention that it takes a 2/3 vote to change the bylaws and the platform. We cannot add other items that require a 2/3 vote by any other method than amending the bylaws. So we cannot add a rule of order that calls for a 2/3 vote on anything. That's really not my opinion, that's our parliamentarian's opinion. So I believe that, yes, this rule should be stricken.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other discussion? Mr. Roman, if you'd approach the mic, we'll recognize you.
Point of information is, okay, so I'm just being clear on what this is. She's proposing to change 2/3 to a majority? Strike Rule 8 completely.
If the ruling is overturned, the rule would become, the convention will adjourn at 6 p.m. Saturday.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right, do we have any further discussion?
Does it become, it will adjourn, or does it become a majority overturn? The majority overturn is already part of Roner, so.
Thank you.
Sorry, I should have been there.
Okay, I hear no further discussion. I do not wish to add anything to my previous comments on the matter, so I will proceed into a vote. A yes vote will sustain the proposed rule as written, and a no vote, which would sustain the ruling of the chair. A no vote will then overturn the ruling of the chair and will result that the convention will adjourn at 6 p.m. Saturday only. If everyone is clear, we're going to move into our vote, and I would ask a show of hands, yes for sustaining the ruling of the chair. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. If everyone lowers their hands, I will ask for everyone opposed to please raise their hand. The motion of the chair, the ruling of the chair is overturned. And so the Rule 8 will have the language, unless 2/3 of the delegates vote to extend business, that language will be stricken. Okay? So we're back to consideration of the proposed substitute rule set. Are there any further proposed rules changes with this proposed substitution? Mr. Brungardt.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to call the question.
Okay, we have a motion before the body to call the question. Do we have a second? All right. Is there any debate on the matter?
I don't think it's debate on it.
I believe you're correct. So unless anyone disagrees, I will proceed as such. So with that, we will then consider under our bylaw a majority vote to end debate on the question of adopting the substitute rule set to be in place of the proposed rule set. So we will still have a further question before us after this one with regard to the rule adoption. However, now we'll move directly to a vote on whether to substitute the proposal as amended to then be considered for adoption, which will allow further debate. So all of those in favor
Request for information.
Yes.
Did we already vote on whether or not to call the question?
We called the question on consideration of adopting by substitution.
Right.
And if the
We still have to
substitution is
vote
adopted.
whether or not to call the question, correct?
We did, thank you. I did miss a point. We did not have the vote on calling the question. Thank you very much, Mr. Fulmer. I appreciate your correction. So we must first have a vote on ending debate. All of those in favor of ending debate on the substitute motion, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. We will end debate on the substitute rule set. Okay. So now we will move to the vote on adopting by substitution. hope everyone is keeping with me, and I'm happy to clarify as this has been a winding path. Basically, we're voting on whether to amend the original proposed rules by substitution. Okay. Then we will have further debate if necessary, and then the final vote on the rule adoption afterwards. So now, all of those in favor of adopting by substitution the proposed rules as amended, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. All of those opposed, please raise your hand. The ayes have it, and the substitute becomes the primary motion now. Do we have, I don't know what our baseline rule is. I'm going to rule division dilatory at this time unless there's an appeal of the ruling of the chair. All right, so with that, the proposed substitution has passed. We are now considering those rules as the main motion, so this is the last opportunity for discussion. Otherwise, we'll move to a vote on the adoption of the rules finally. Mr. Brungart, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to call the question.
Is there any opposition to calling the question? Thank you. Do we have a second for calling the question? Okay, we will have to go now to another vote on ending debate, since we have one individual that wished to speak. If we have a majority vote here, we will have to move on, unfortunately. All those in favor of ending debate on rule adoption, please raise your hand. All those opposed to ending debate, please raise your hand. My apologies to those who wish to debate further, but we do have to move on now. So we will now consider the question of adopting the proposed rules as amended. All those in favor of adopting this proposed and amended rule set? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. Please lower. And all those opposed, please raise your hands. The amended rules are adopted. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, and now with the thankful correction earlier to the proposed agenda, we will now move forward to the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Fulner, you have the floor.
Jim Fulner, Libertarians of Macomb County. I would like to move to amend the agenda to add to the approval of past minutes the 2023 regular convention. And if I can speak to my motion.
The 2023 regular convention minutes have already been approved.
No, they have not. So if you'll notice in the draft agenda, or excuse me, the draft minutes that we have not yet approved, it indicates that we moved in the 2024 convention, we moved to suspend the approval of, or excuse me, to delay the approval of the 2023 state convention minutes indefinitely, which means it would now be in order to do so. Thank you.
Is that the correct here?
Give me a moment to consult those minutes.
Just one moment, I apologize.
Minor details. That's like better. I get just as good of a view and less tripping hazard. Yeah, perfect.
If we can bring everybody back to order, we'll get going again. We've clarified the proposed motion. If we can get everyone to return to your seats, please, and get ready to resume from our brief recess. I'll recognize the speaker in just a moment, but to clarify what we were looking at, we did verify in the past minutes that the 2023 regular convention that occurred in Pinconning, Michigan, those minutes have not yet been approved. It is therefore in order to bring those from the table to be considered for adoption before the body. So we have a proposed amendment to the agenda. The item for approval of past minutes, it mentions 2024 and special 2025. So I believe that is referring to the Sault Ste. Marie Convention in 2024 and the special convention for disciplinary action that occurred earlier this year, and we would amend that to include the 2023 regular convention that happened in Pinconning, Michigan, if this amendment passes. So with that, I believe I heard a second for the proposed amendment, and we will open the floor for discussion. Mr. Duke, are you seeking to be recognized? Okay. All right, so we have a proposed amendment to consider also the 2023 Pinconning regular convention minutes in the agenda for today.
Okay.
I don't believe I see any discussion, so I will go to the vote.
The minutes, I do.
On the, yes, okay.
Never mind, I withdraw.
I would speak against.
Okay.
Or we can do it in the other. Either way, doesn't matter.
Passing the mic.
I'd like to, you can, yeah.
Thanks, guys. I just oppose adding this as the minutes of this meeting for approval at this time, being added for approval. This was a meeting that was sparsely attended. Most of us had no idea we were there. We haven't seen the minutes, and for this body to vote to approve those minutes, sight unseen, I think would be a mistake.
So to clarify, the minutes can be presented in the item of business if desired, but thank you for the discussion. And Mr. Bowman, do you seek to be recognized?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to amend that motion to substitute the word Lansing for Pinconning.
The motion hereby roll out of order. The event in Lansing was not a convention of the Libertarian Party of Michigan, therefore it is not an order to consider. So yes, you have the floor, Mr. Fuller. No amendment was considered for that, so we are still considering.
So yes, I agree with the convention chair that that motion is out of order because that wasn't part of my motion. My motion was simply to include the 2022 convention minutes.
23,
thank you. And when we get to that approval, I have already submitted to the secretary of this convention the corrections to those minutes, which will include that the meeting occurred April 1st, 2023 in Lansing, Michigan, where we elected Mike Saliba as chair.
Point of order, that motion is illegal.
Okay, the motion has not been brought. Motion hasn't been brought yet. So we're currently considering the motion to amend the agenda to include the 2023 Pinconning regular convention.
Point of order, you stated the intent of the motion, therefore this motion is also illegal.
I will rule that we'll take it actually. So I'm gonna disallow the original motion given that the stated intent was to conduct an action that is out of order. So that brings us back to the consideration of.
Motion to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Thank you. All right. We have an appeal of the ruling of the chair that has been seconded.
Point of order, that's a matter of law, not a matter of parliamentary procedure.
Fuck the law, we're libertarians, motherfucker!
You can't decide law and not show it.
It'd be too much for me to ask for a reading of the minutes from the 2023 convention. That would be great for us.
going to rule the appeal. I will not hear this appeal. This is a settled matter of law under the District Court of Eastern Michigan. I believe that the conventions that occurred were held by the recognized party, which was the convention that occurred in Conning, Michigan.
I'd like to make a motion to, how do they make him not chair anymore?
Point of information.
Yes.
So should we interpret that no minutes from 2023 will be adopted then, since you ruled that out of order?
We can consider a motion to adopt the Conning Convention minutes.
But as of right now, with your ruling, no minutes from 2023 will be adopted.
No one has made such a motion.
That actually was my motion. It's already been tabled, we can come back to it later.
All right, so we're considering the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move to adopt by substitution the V2 agenda that I have sent to the secretary, and I have 3 paper copies right here.
If that includes consideration of a convention besides the Conning one, I will not hear.
May I speak to my motion?
Yes, in just one moment, please.
Second his motion.
Okay, we have a proposed amended agenda by substitution. Do we have the possibility to put that on the screen for individuals to see? Have you received an electronic copy of this very quickly?
I don't think that's gonna work. Right, that's why we got it.
Okay, we have the proposed substitute agenda on screen. I'll do my best to summarize what's been proposed. Basically, it looks like the proposal is that we will complete our adoption of agenda, then we will move into officer elections, have lunch, and we'll continue officer elections, platform committees, bylaws committee, open floor, and adjournment. is the proposed agenda for the body. Do we have, Mr. Brungard, would you like to speak to your motion?
I would, thank you. I've taken the liberty of adjusting the agenda to what I believe is the most important business for the party today, now that the rules state we must adjourn at 6 p.m. So this agenda allows us to conduct the most important business of the party today and gives us enough time to do what I think everybody really wants to do today, which is ensure that we have the right officers and elected officials in place. If we're unable to completely get through the platform and bylaws committee reports, that would be a shame. However, with the time that we have, I think that is the business that we should put second.
Thank you very much. Do you have any further discussion? Mr. Napomuceno, are you soon to be organized?
Can we get the proposed agenda back on the screen, please? I have two objections to the adoption of this report, of this agenda, excuse me. The main thing is that having officer elections before the consideration of a bylaws report is just nonsensical, because of course the body may make changes to the bylaws that change the composition of the officers that we would be electing. Secondly, this agenda is also out of order because a previous convention had appointed 2 investigatory committees. Those committees have done the work and they have prepared reports that need to be considered. So we do not want to throw away people's time, and we don't want to override the will of a previously called convention.
If that was a point of order, I would rule the point of order not well taken, but I appreciate the argument. You may have the floor.
Andrew
I'm sorry, Mr. Duke, I apologize for violating my thank you for correcting Mr. Duke. You may have the floor.
First, point of information, can we not add that to this agenda after we?
It would be appropriate. It could be amended at this stage or after we're considering. So this is very similar to the rules situation we are in. So we had an original proposed agenda. We are considering a replacement agenda by substitution, so we can consider one amendment at a time at this point, if that would wish to be amended. So it would be in order if you would wish to make such a motion to include the IC reports.
Thank you. I'd like to call a question.
Alright. So we are calling the question if there is a second, and if there's not objection. Do we have any objection to calling the question? Okay, without objection, we will move to a vote on voting for the substitute motion in place of the proposed agenda. So all of those in favor of adopting the substitute agenda as provided, please raise your hand. Thank you. All of those opposed, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. So the substitute agenda motion passes. It will supersede now the proposed agenda, and we will resume our discussion around the now main motion of the new agenda. Do we have further discussion, Mr. Brungard?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to call a question.
Do we have a second? Second. Is there opposition to calling the question? I hear none, so we will move into our, Mr. King, did you wish to object to calling the question?
What are we calling to question?
This will be the adoption of the agenda. So, all right, hearing.
I have an objection. Can we read the new current agenda for those of us?
I presented it, I presented earlier. I'll give another recap and we'll move into our vote for that. So, highlights, we will approve the agenda if adopted, and we will move into officer elections. We will follow that with platform, bylaws, open floor, adjournment. That is the proposed agenda here, and we'll now move into our vote on that. So all of those in favor of the adoption of the agenda as presented, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. And all of those opposed to the Agenda adoption. Thank you. The proposed agenda is adopted. All right. So, with that,
Mr. Chatterton?
Yes.
With my sincerest apologies, I would like to insert before our platform committee the investigatory committee reports.
So that would be a suspension of rules to amend the agenda this time, since we did just adopt it. It does not affect.
Oh, did we adopt it? I thought we were still.
You can still basically make the motion. It will be functionally equivalent as though it had been made before. So.
My apologies to the body. This is something that I was overlooked, but yes, I do move to suspend the rules so that we can adopt that as part of our agenda.
Okay, so we have a proposal that would insert the prepared reports from our 2 investigatory committees who were authorized at our spring special convention earlier this year, I believe in early April. And so that is proposed to be inserted between the continuance of officer elections, if there's any remaining after lunch, and the start of the platform report. All right. So we have a second. Is there any, I'm going to allow discussion on the suspension of the rules unless there is objection. I'm not certain on that rule. So, I have ruled that debate would be allowed. I hear an objection to my ruling on that.
I take that objection back.
Okay, the objection is withdrawn, so we'll have debate on the motion. Anyone that wishes to speak on amending the agenda to insert the IC reports, Mr. King.
Just because, and I do apologize for wasting more time on this, but we did prepare reports, both committees, and I would rather just see us handle this today.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stepp.
Would it be in order to propose an amendment to the proposed motion?
Given our suspension of the rules, I would ask if you might hold that until after this motion is dispensed with. The further consideration can be made at that time. Mr. Brungard?
Mr. Chair, point of personal privilege, could the secretary please upload the final convention rules to the convention drive that was shared prior to the convention?
Would that be feasible for you, Mr. Secretary? All right, I believe you will work on that. Thank you very much. Mr. Napomuceno?
Connor Napomuceno, delegate from the Thumb. I object to this proposal. I am the platform committee chair, and I will be presenting, the intention is to present my report this afternoon. We had a committee of 6 people. We had multiple meetings over the last several months. We have done our work that was assigned to us. This body should hear it instead of throwing away the time that we put into this work.
Appreciate the feedback. The body has chosen to limit our business to 6 p.m. today. We do have several individuals, the platform committee and bylaws, who have conducted months of work. I think it's highly likely that the actions of this body will result that they don't get to hear the reports. All right, we are considering still the discussion of the amendment to insert the ICs. Mr. Johnson, you have the floor.
Yes, I understand that, committees have met, platform and bylaws, and have worked on it, but IC committees have also met, and this is something that is a fairly drawn-out process, and we need to move forward on it. So I think we should put this in the agenda at the appropriate slot. And in reality, I don't think this is going to be an extremely time-consuming item on our agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Ludlow.
Larry Ludlow, Wayne County Delegate. I'd like to concur with Mr. Napomuceno. The number of people who put in dozens of hours on the various reports, to sideline those will discourage further participation, and we'll end up, as we did a few years before, with only one person being on a platform committee, because people find dozens of hours thrown away. So I'd like people to consider that.
Thank you very much. I will editorialize. I do believe it is very important for this body to recognize the work and respect the work of its members. And I think we're seeing the consequences of the motion to include the 6 p.m. cutoff time, and part of the reason why business was scheduled for 2 days. Do we have any further discussion on the proposed amendment We're still in consideration of your motion, Mr. King, yes.
Point of information.
Mr. Franklin.
Dave Franklin, Oakland County. Just so it's clear for everyone, because maybe I'm the only one that's confused. What we're talking about right now are we having the committee reports?
This is the question for the body right now. The proposed amendment will insert hearing of the investigatory committee reports prior to the platform committee report. So if we do not adopt this motion before the body, we will not hear the investigatory committee reports.
Okay, would it be allowed for me to move that we put the investigative committee reports, replace open floor with that to save time?
Given that we are in a suspension of the rules, I would ask that that be brought after this motion is adjourned, is addressed. That could be a new suspension of the rules to amend the agenda afterwards if we wish to entertain it. Mr. Duke?
Andrew Duke from Southwest, I'd like to call the question.
Is there any opposition to ending discussion? All right, so we now move to the vote on the matter. A yes vote will have us hear the IC reports prior to the platform committee report. A no vote will leave the agenda unamended and not including the IC reports. If I can see a raised hand from all of those in favor of the amendment, please do so now. We'll insert a yes vote, we'll have the IC reports heard prior to the platform. So, thank you very much. Hopefully I said prior, that is my intention. All of those opposed to the amendment, please raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes, and we will now hear the IC reports immediately after our officer elections before platform. Okay, so we are completed with our approval of the agenda, which brings our next item of business into our officer elections. With that, we will start with the office of chair, and I will open the floor for nominations for chair.
I would like to nominate Justin, Lawrence Johnson, Your Honor, I would like to nominate Justin Miramonte for chair.
Mr. Miramonte, do you accept the nomination for chair? We can consider any other nominations, and I believe I've seen indications, so I'm not going to hold us up on that. I believe he intended to run, so. Mr. Miramonte, do you accept the nomination for chair? I do. Thank you very much. All right, do we have any additional nominations? All right, I believe it is in our rules that we will always consider none of the above. But with that, I don't believe we addressed it in our convention rules, but I would ask the body if they would like to hear a brief statement from the candidates. We will have Mr. Miramonte. This is up to the body, but I would propose perhaps up to a 5-minute statement. And Mr. Miramonte could speak or recognize anyone they would like, as well as anyone can speak for none of the above if they wish. Is that approach amenable to the body? Okay, so hearing no other nominations, is there opposition to closing nominations for chair? All right, hearing none, we will move into our nomination speeches. So I would ask Mr. Miramonte if you wish to approach the floor microphone. If you wish to have anyone else speak, we'll give you 5 minutes. And then we will offer the same for anyone that wishes to speak for none of the above. And Mr. Miramonte, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in the interest of expediency, and given that there are no other nominees for the position at this time, I'm just looking forward to getting the party back to work and working with everyone here. And let's get moving on with business today.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have anyone that would wish to speak on behalf of none of the above? All right, hearing none, we will proceed. Do we have any discussion or debate from members that wish to speak generically for or against either candidate? Mr. Lingard?
I have a point of personal privilege. I still haven't seen the rules, and I'd really like to understand the final rules before we take this vote.
Okay, I'm happy to oblige. Mr. Secretary, do you have, let me see that phone a moment.
By secret ballot. Did you set up the convention share drive?
We're working on the amended rules and the amended agenda uploaded to the share drive where it can be accessible. We'll have that resolved momentarily, and at the request of the previous speaker, I would propose that we'll stand at ease for a brief moment until we get that resolved.
All right, Joe, we should be set.
Thank you.
All right, so while we're getting those uploaded, just some house cleaning items. So we have planned coming up to go through all of our officer elections for lunch break. That's planned for 12:30. We do have an allotment to finish any officer elections if they are unfinished. So it will be the will of the body as we go through the officer elections if you decide to take a break at any point. And then we'll come back and pick those back up afterwards. And until then, we will continue through our business of electing officers once we get the rules up there, which should be resolved momentarily. If we have perhaps any announcements, I noticed that we did strike reports. I had spoken prior to business, and actually I think now would be a very good time. I did receive a request from the National Party Treasurer if he could be recognized for a few minutes. So without objection from the body, I would happily give the floor to Mr. Bill Redpath to speak briefly to the body.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I am treasurer of the Libertarian National Committee and also treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Ohio. I just moved to the Toledo metro area, specifically Perrysburg. All right, Jim. I knew that was coming. I knew I was going to get raspberries where that was coming. So in any event, but I am involved in something that I think is very important in Michigan. I'm a volunteer with Rank My Vote, which is the Citizens Initiative that is circulating. This is day 3 of 180 days, okay? Day 3 of 180 days to circulate a citizens initiative to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot in Michigan in November 2026 that would bring about the adoption of ranked choice voting for a number of offices, statewide offices, including U.S. Senate, Attorney General, Governor, and there's another position involved as well, but many of them, U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and then also, I believe, is it Secretary of State and Attorney General. But electoral reform is very, very important to the future of the Libertarian Party. It does away with the wasted vote syndrome. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I don't think that ranked choice voting in single winner elections is necessarily going to make libertarians electable on a widespread basis, but it will do many things for us. It will do away with the wasted vote syndrome. We will get more votes. People will be more interested in our candidates, which will mean more earned media because the press will be more interested in covering us, and also will mean fewer debate exclusions, which is very important. I've been a candidate for public office 8 times. Many people in here have been candidates for public office with ranked choice voting at the very least. More earned media and fewer debate exclusions and many more votes for libertarian candidates. So I would urge you, first of all, I have petitions in my car, but I don't have to get your signature. You can get your signature put on a petition back here at the Rank My Vote table. Be sure to sign the sheet that is for your county. We have to separate by county, so please sign a sheet for your county. And also, we need more people. We need to get 446,198 valid signatures of Michigan registered voters over the next 177 days. And we need a lot of people to do that. So please give us your signature back there at the Rank My Vote table. And also, please sign up to become involved in this effort. Gathering signatures or something else that is most important for the future of Michigan and the Libertarian Party of Michigan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Redpath. I did want to offer just a very brief moment to say a minute or two for other vendors to try to offer for the people that have come out and support the party by purchasing a vendor table and promoting a cause. We have a lot of our tables back here for affiliates and whatnot, but some outside groups came out, so I wanted to take a moment to offer just a brief moment while we settled out the rule of votes. I believe we have at least one interested taker, if the body doesn't mind to hear a brief statement for a moment or two.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm in the back corner representing the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. And basically what we do is we go out and help anyone that needs help. It doesn't matter who it is, what you believe, what you look like. That will help you if you need it. And 100% of what you give will help the people in need. And how that is the money for the table came out of my pocket, not the pocket that's, not the money that you donate. So that's as an example. And over the past year, 75% of what we spent has gone to help pay for housing, 11% help fix vehicles. We help pay for utilities and help put food on people's tables. And over the past 12 months, my chapter has spent about $120,000, that's about $10,000 a month, to help those in need in Livingston County. So thank you for the support that you've given.
Thank you, Mr. Redpath, and thank you, Mr. Elvis, for those updates, and we appreciate the good work on both of those fronts. I think we're ready to go with the rules and the agenda having been uploaded, but if there are any other groups that wish to speak, I would be happy to try to give brief moments without disrupting our business at later points throughout the day. So with that, we have our items uploaded and available for everyone to access, and so we have heard from our nominees, and I believe that we are ready to go into a vote on our future chair. So if everyone is good with that, I think that with a single nominee, we can do this by a raise hand vote. So we'll start off with all of those in favor of Mr. Miramonte. Please raise your hand. Thank you very much. And all of those in favor of none of the above, please raise your hand. Okay, well, congratulations, Mr. Miramonte, on becoming the chair of the National Party of Michigan. Part of the bylaws for your office will be done at the beginning of this convention. So that will bring us now to our first vice chair, which is our affiliates director. So I will open the floor for nominations for the first vice chair affiliates director. Do we have any nominees?
I move to nominate Dana Carver.
All right, is Ms. Carter here to accept the nomination? Okay, I have also seen her express her interest in that, so we'll proceed until she confirms, but do we have any other nominations at this time? Ms. Gregory?
I'd like to nominate Tim Teagan.
Thank you very much. Is Mr. Teagan present?
Sorry.
You accept the nomination? Thank you very much. Ms. Carver, do you accept the nomination for affiliates director, first vice chair? Thank you very much. All right, we have 2 nominations that have been accepted. Do we have any other nominations? If there is no objection in that case, we will close nominations. We offered our chair candidates up to 5 minutes to say a few words themselves, or if they wish to bring any other speakers forward to speak for their nomination. Since we were first nominated Ms. Carter, you will have the first choice if you like. If you do wish to speak for your nomination, I ask that you would approach the floor microphone to make any statements.
I'm Dana Carver. I've been with the party for a little while here, and I'm for office. I've been on the board. I've done all the things. One of our major accomplishments with Amy Evans and James Johnson, we created an affiliate that's worked together and thrives together, and we do our activism together, and we've made it fun. We've made it to where it's not all work. It's not all garbage. It's getting everything done and enjoying yourself while you're teaching people about your love of libertarianism. And that is my goal. And I want to reaffiliate those affiliates that have been unaffiliated. I want to grow the membership of this party. I want to give it love. We need to earn the respect of people back because so much fracturing has been done, and we have to show love to our people and bring them back in.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carter. All right, Mr. Teagan, would you like to make a nomination speech?
Sorry, I left it short meeting.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tim Teagan from Wayne County. I am a newer member of the party, only getting involved back in 2020 when I was still at the height of my militia work and activity. Back then I was really renowned for that in my activism. Did 180 armed security events across the country during COVID lockdown. And ended up being targeted and arrested by the FBI Counterterrorism Task Force and the Department of Homeland Security.
If I may interrupt briefly, if we could please cut the background noise in the back of the room, please, I would greatly appreciate it. Sorry for the interruption, Mr. Dean, go ahead.
But like I was saying, I was arrested by the Counterterrorism Task Force of the FBI and Department of Homeland Security for the high crime of being a marijuana user who owned firearms. Did just under a year and came out with the energy after being victimized by the state to put directly into the Libertarian Party, which I've been doing locally in Wayne County since I've been out, and just really want to help the party. I've seen a lot of division, seen a lot of animosity towards everyone at each other, and I'm kind of a neutral party in that. Now, I can honestly say, I don't think there's a single person in this room that at least doesn't like me. So I got that going for me. But hope to get your vote, and we'll make it work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Teagan. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on behalf of none of the above? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to our vote. A majority is required to win. So with that, I will ask all of those in support of Ms. Dana Carver to be the next first vice chair affiliates director. Please raise your hand. believe I counted 27. We'll check the total, and we will go next to those in favor of Mr. Tim Teagan to be the next first vice chair, affiliates director.
Close and interesting.
That is a very close total. I will ask that we will do the standing vote. You guys voted for.
Thank you
I
very much for
believe
having
that I commented already a narrow edge for Mr. Tim Teagan. And then I will entertain a call for division, then we'll do the standing vote.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Fulmer.
Our party tradition has been that these elections are done via secret ballot, particularly with votes being as close as they are. I would recommend that we return to that tradition.
All right, so we have, this is up to the discretion of the body. I don't believe we have any rule in this matter. My proposal, I think it would be reasonable. I hope nobody is afraid to cast a vote in one manner or another, but we could probably move through this more quickly and get to more of our agenda items since we have limited time. But my proposal as chair will be that we do a standing vote if the body wishes to challenge that.
I wish we called division anyway.
So we're going to move ahead to a standing vote to count it if we don't have an appeal of the ruling of the chair here. So, Mr. Ringard, just a
Point of information, based on this ruling, will that set a precedent for the rest of the day, or can we ask for a
that
secret ballot for the
can
rest?
be up to the body for any decision here. It's not binding on any future action. All right, so we're going to start now with Ms. Dana Carver. I'm going to ask everyone who wishes for her to be elected to please stand, and I'll repeat my previous action to count. So if you are standing and do not wish to vote for her, please make that clear as I'm coming around. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Have I missed it? So we have recorded 29 votes in support of Ms. Carver, and now I ask the same for supporters of Mr. Teagan to please stand. Have I missed anyone?
I didn't want to share it anyway.
I've counted 38 votes in support of Mr. Teagan. And do we have any votes in favor of none of the above? I count 1 vote for none of the above. All right. With that, by a vote of 38 to 29 to 1, Mr. Teagan, congratulations on your election. All right. Next up will be the office for second vice chair and political director. And I will open the floor for nominations. Mr. Ruger.
I'd like to nominate the legend, Scott Bowman.
Mr. Bowman, do you second nomination?
your mind.
Do we have any other nominations for office?
Jeff Patel, Oakland County, I would like to nominate Mr. Trevor Stepp.
Mr. Stepp, do you accept the nomination? Thank you very much, Mr. Stepp. Mr. Stepp accepts. All right, do we have any other nominees?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Andrew Chatterton.
I will accept the nomination. All right, do we have any other nominees? All right, hearing none, we will close nominations with the inclusion of, and actually I'm gonna, go ahead, never mind, that's fine. So we'll close the nominations. We have 3 nominees and none of the above. So with that, I will offer first Mr. Bowman and then Mr. Stepp. I will decline any statement on my behalf and anyone that wishes to speak for no to that. So Mr. Bowman, you have the floor.
Okay, a few things. First of all, both myself and my opponents, I believe, both have experience, all 3 have experience having been political director, which is second vice chair. However, I'm going to add to that experience. I have experience winning elections, which I believe sets me apart from all 3 of my opponents. Yes, I don't think. Noda might have experience winning elections. Maybe I shouldn't be so quick on that. All of my human opponents. And I also have been a member of the party for a very long time and have seen what does and does not work in winning elections, or in some case leveraging our ability as a third party to affect elections and to affect outcome. I have a particular issue I'd like to bring up, which is the matter of messaging. Messaging is up to our candidates, and there's been a lot of talk about, whether or not people should or shouldn't say things. And what I would say is the way to handle that, for anyone who doesn't like what a person says or the way in which our party is presented by anyone, is if you don't like someone, don't vote them into a position of office, don't vote for them as a candidate, don't nominate them as a candidate. And if you do, support them as candidates. And if we support them as candidates, we need to support them on the basis of libertarian values. And I would be for making, encouraging messaging by our candidates that supports libertarian values. It ultimately, of course, being up to those candidates. And to facilitate candidates in how to get those messages across and how to do it well. How to be able to apply those principles to the offices you hold. So for instance, on the Board of Zoning Appeals, I have no say on whether or not Israel bombs Gaza. I do have a say on whether or not a property owner gets to decide what to do with his or her property. On the Board of Police Commissioners, I have no say as to whether or not we are going to have a continuation of the federal income tax. I do have a say on whether or not police officers should be held accountable and whether or not we should have a transparent police department. So these are examples of how we can, apply what we know and the office has and apply libertarian principles to them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bowman. We will next offer the floor to Mr. Stepp.
You can see the view of my camera right here. So I get the chair, background, everybody there. What's up? I can see the chair on the right.
All right, hey, how's everybody doing? First thing I wanted to do is shout out to all the candidates who are in the room right now elected. It was really fun working with a lot of people, and on the ballot right now we have a couple more people. But first off, if Larry Johnson's here, I'd like everyone to give him a round of applause. He did a great job. He's one of our elected officials. We also got Ben DeYoung over there. Thanks, Ben. And we don't have Bryce here today, but Bryce Burge is also won his election here in 2024. And so it was cool to work with those guys and with the rest of our candidates. If you could, yeah. Next one, please. So in 2024, we got to work with a lot of different candidates, got a lot of different events. I wanted to just highlight a few of those fun events that we did. We did some postcard handouts for Chase Oliver in South Lyon at a Pride Festival, and we gave out like 250 of those postcards. We also worked with Mr. We also worked at Gun Show. You see my buddy Jay in the picture there with me hanging out, which was a fun one. And we did the Brighton 4th of July parade for my campaign for Green Oak Township trustee, which was really fun. We had a great turnout, and it's a really fun event. We did that again this year. We did a door knocking event where we knocked about 600 doors in my township, which was really fun. It was fun to organize and do the lit and the yard signs. Another great candidate we had, who was really fun to work with, Jake Bassett. I don't think he's here today, but he ran for Wexford County Sheriff. He's one of my favorite campaigns that we worked with. And we went up to Cadillac, worked a festival there, and I think it's just really fun to work. It's been really fun to work with all the candidates. And there was a Joseph Soley's Mullen campaign. I helped organize. He did 4 speaking events in 4 target markets. That was in Grand Rapids. We went up north to Manistee and knocked doors, which was for Mr. Orton there. He did not win, but we did a lot of phone calls as well for him, which was fun. It was really fun to just help all the candidates organize everything. Mr. Gale spoke in the 1st district for Congress. And there's some postcards I mailed out. And this spring we did some door knocking to get our candidates on the ballot. So Mr. Chris Clark there, he got on the ballot for Taylor City Council. We have 3 candidates on the ballot right now. Christine Sloan is here right now, and so is Scotty Bowman. So those of you that don't know me, I joined the party in 2020. I wanted to volunteer with the Joe Jorgensen campaign, and that was really what led me to jump into the party. And like many of you, I was just drawn to the message of liberty, personal responsibility, and non-aggression. And we as libertarians don't fit the mold of the typical voter. We don't look at the state for answers. We look to ourselves, and we judge people as individuals. We make our own decisions, and that mindset might make it a little harder for us to organize or to connect with the masses, but it's what makes us powerful, and I believe it's worth the fight. If you're truly the party of personal responsibility, then it's on us, each of us, to uphold that principle. That starts with building systems that empower our candidates, energize our members, and grow our movement. And I have a little quote from Leonard Reed here to close out. There's nothing in the world that can compare with the initiative, the inventiveness, the originality of the individual who acts on his own.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, I plan to speak on my nomination. Do we have anyone that wishes to speak for none of the above? All right, so we will open the floor to discussion about the candidates, any general discussion from members. Mr. Rivera?
Mr. Chair, I move that we conduct this specific election by secret ballot.
Okay. All right, if it would help to resolve that matter, I would happily withdraw myself from the race. We would be considering 2 candidates in NODA. We have a proposal to consider this election by ballot, has been made and seconded. I would encourage for time's sake that we would consider to continue the standing votes that have been performed. But it is the will of the body and we are open to discussion on that matter. So Mr. Brennan, you have the floor.
Is it working? Cool. Ryan Brennan, Wayne County Delegation. As the body suggested earlier today, in the interest of time, I believe we should do a standing vote. I believe that was a very good idea then and a very good idea now.
I remind we're down to 2 candidates and none of the above, so we just have a one-on-one race effectively, so I think that's pretty straightforward. But if there's no more discussion, we will move on to the vote of whether to conduct this election by secret ballot. Mr. King, you have discussion?
Will this standing vote be counted?
We could, at the will of the body, if it would like to be done by, I think it will be close and we can have a counted standing vote as I've recently done would probably be the best way to start. So we have a motion, so for sake of ease of discussion, I'll put it forward as the option between those, but obviously any other options are at the disposal of the body. So a yes vote will have us conduct this election by a secret ballot that will then have to be counted and tabulated. A no vote will have us proceed, and I intend to conduct that election by a standing counted vote, as we've done a few times now. So is everyone clear on what we're voting on? All right, please vote yes if you would like us to use a secret ballot. Please raise your hand. Okay, all those all of those opposed to the motion to use a secret ballot, please raise your hand. All right, the motion to use a secret ballot fails, so I will continue on with the election as a counted standing vote here. So let's get to it. If there's no further debate, we will start with consideration for Mr. Bowman. If you are in support of Mr. Bowman, I would ask that you please stand now and I will come around the room and count. This is for Mr. Bowman. Please stand in support of Mr. Bowman. I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This table's all set. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Have I missed anyone? All right, I've counted 47 votes for Mr. Bowman, and I would ask all those in support of Mr. Stepp to please stand. Counted 47 to 30. With that, I congratulate Mr. I'm sorry, we've not counted none of the above. All those in favor of none of the above, please stand. I assume you're not standing for none of the above? Okay, we have 0 votes for none of the above, so I congratulate Mr. Bowman by a margin of 47 to 30.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. The credentials report we heard this morning said 68 voters in the room.
I think it would be appropriate maybe to hear an updated credentials report If the body does not object,
He had majority, 41's the majority.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, we do have an updated credentials report here. We have 81 attendants as delegates presently, so majority 41, 2/3 54, 71.
thank you very much. So if there's no objection, we will adopt the update of the credentials report. That brings us to our next item of business, which is the election of our secretary.
Jamie.
And I will open the floor to nominations. Mr. Brinberg.
I'd like to nominate Donna Gundel Creek.
Ms. Gundel Creek, do you accept the nomination? Thank you very much. Do we have other nominees for office?
Nominate Daniel Ziemba.
Mr. Ziemba, do you accept the nomination? Thank you very much. Mr. Ziemba has declined the nomination. All right. If there are no further nominations, we will close them. And we will offer Ms. Gundel Creek the opportunity to speak for her nomination, followed by anyone for none of the above.
Okay. I know a lot of people in this room because I've been active in the party for 25 years, both in northern Michigan and in Livingston County. In Livingston County, I was secretary and chair many years ago, secretary, chair, and communication person many years ago. Started the northern Michigan affiliate when I moved up there. I won an election as township trustee. I beat a Democrat in a partisan election and served on the Mansalona Township Board for the last 4 years. I recently retired as a real estate broker, and my degree is in journalism, and I'm a writer. So even though the secretary takes minutes, I look at it as a much broader communication job that helps the party now that I'm retired. Use my writing skills and my marketing skills, because that's my thing, to help whoever is doing PR, whoever is doing member communications. That's my strength, and that's what I would like people to consider. So, thank you for nominating me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gundel Creek. And does anybody wish to speak on behalf of none of the above? All right, hearing none, we open the floor for any discussion or debate. And if there are none, we'll proceed. If there is none, we will proceed into the vote. Since we've only got one candidate with NOTA, I'll start us off by a hand-raising vote. If we could have everyone in favor of Mrs. Gundel Creek, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. And everyone in favor of none of the above, please raise your hand. All right, Mrs. Gundel Creek, congratulations. You've been elected to the next secretary. All right, that brings us to treasurer. We open the floor for nominations. Would you mind to turn on the microphone so the battery issue? So the speaker wished to make a nomination of Mr. Andrew Duke. Mr. Duke, do you accept the nomination? Thank you very much. If we continue to have issues with this floor microphone, I would ask folks to come over to this one.
Test.
All right, thank you for the Yeah, we can leave the microphones on between speakers. They have a pretty short range before they start to drop off.
Yeah.
Oh, my time out, thank you. So, thank you for everyone's help with it. Are there any other nominations besides Mr. Duke?
I'll nominate myself
Mr. Urban has sought to self-nominate. I would ask if there's a second. There is, okay. All right, we have 2 nominees. We will recognize Mr. Duke to speak to your nomination.
Good morning, Andrew Duke, Chair of the Southwest Affiliate.
Yeah, I didn't see you back there the whole time.
I knew it.
I would like to thank you for your time as treasurer. I was going to say that he's the current treasurer, he's not here today, but thank you.
Being treasurer is not just about spreadsheets and ledgers. First, it's about trust and ensuring that every hard-earned dollar given to this party is used appropriately and not wasted on personal objectives. As the financial steward of our party, timely reports to the LAC, our members, and of course the states and FEC are minimum standards, while the treasurer should also be leading and organizing fundraising. We need a treasurer, we need a board who is qualified and transparent and proactive. I was the treasurer for the Alexandrian Homeowners Association for nearly a decade, keeping monthly assessments to the lowest 20% in the area, and I've managed my own small but growing business of rental properties since 2016. I've assisted and led federal regulatory compliance at Pfizer and Concordia University, Chicago. I'm committed to upholding our party's fiduciary duties and proactively leading fundraising through personal contact, partnerships, and events. I've managed real money for real people under real pressure, and I've gotten results. And I bring with me not only financial experience, but a vision rooted in liberty and human action. I currently serve on Battle Creek's Board of Review for property taxes and for income taxes, hearing residents and businesses challenge unfair taxes that are saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars. I recently passed the torch as chair of the Neighborhood Planning Committee, where I helped to ensure that decisions impacting our community weren't dictated from the top down, but made with grassroots input. Several residents have expressed their support and encouraged me to run for city council, knowing my commitment to libertarian principles. I'm also collaborating in founding a new 501c3 disaster relief fund. This nonpartisan charity will provide tangible aid to Michigan communities hit by crisis, while showcasing the superiority of voluntary action over government mismanagement. When people ask what sets us apart, I want them to see a party that not only defends liberty, but embodies it through voluntary solutions to real problems. A party that doesn't just ask for votes, but earns them by showing up when it matters the most.
Mr. Urban, if you would like to speak to your nomination.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Urban. I've been your current treasurer for about last year and a half. I'll just read kind of what I wrote in your convention packet. But basically, I'm pleased to report that our treasury has been successfully maintained and remains compliant with both state and federal campaign law. During my term, we accomplished a significant milestone by completing our first joint fundraiser for the party, which successfully generated much needed funds to support our federal initiatives and candidates. The federal and state contributions received have enabled our fund of our federal and state to help fund our federal and state campaign committees effectively, thus helping to raise awareness about the Libertarian Party of Michigan before, after, and during the 2024 election cycle. I'm proud to inform you that we currently have no outstanding reports or fees due, and expenses submitted to the Treasury have been duly settled. Contributions have been properly allocated and reported, reflecting my commitment as your treasurer to transparency and accountability as we continue to grow as a party. I plan to continue helping our affiliates and answer any questions, which I know some of you that actively would like to get affiliates started have had questions in regards to campaign finance as we continue to grow as a party. The state treasury has been updated and streamlined, so you all are aware. I brought our MERT system onto Michigan Transparency Network, which is the new system, so we are up to date on all that for receiving membership and donations into the state account. Other than that, the new online system has replaced MERTS and allowed for quicker reporting for the executive committee. The Bureau of Elections has been very helpful in answering any questions I may have had. as the state party continues to grow. I just wanted to let everybody know, regardless of Andrew or me, it's been a pleasure to serve you all, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Urban. All right, do we have anyone that wishes to speak on behalf of none of the above? Seeing none. All right, let's proceed then. Assuming no debate, we'll go with another counted standing vote. If there is any, welcome any people that like to speak on behalf of or against either candidate or none of the above.
Hello, my name is Zach. I'm from Southwest Michigan. I am new to the Libertarian Party, but not to your guys' beliefs, or our beliefs. I wanted to speak on behalf of Andrew Duke today because I have known him in a professional capacity for numerous years and on a personal one as well. I have found Andrew to be a man of impeccable integrity, hard work, and honesty goes with integrity, but I wrote it down, so. What you'll have with Andrew as your treasurer is someone who will work tirelessly to do the correct thing, the honest and politically applicable best choice. He will take in information, he will analyze it, and he will make the choice that will be best for the party. I have seen this consistently in his work and what he has done. He has taken funds and multiplied them before. He will do it here, and he will put your money to the best use. And that is what you should want, a candidate who will use your money to advance the Libertarian Party and your values. And in that, I hope you will vote for Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak for
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Angela Thornton, I'm with Northern Michigan this time. I would like to speak against Mr. Urban. I understand that Mr. Urban was thrown into this with a very limited amount of experience and in the middle of the crisis of the party. However, there have been questions asked to him about money that is not accounted for. Those questions have yet to be answered. I'm talking about the $6,000 that went missing from early on when the Comerica case first came on. And I don't want to get into it all right now. We have yet to receive any kind of answer as to where that money went. I'm sorry, I have the floor, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I have the floor.
Excuse me, you are no longer recognized. The statement ruled out of order to be slanderous against members. You are not allowed to slander members. This question has been answered. $6,000 was spent on a cease and desist letter that laid out exactly why the individuals that impersonated the Libertarian Party of Michigan were incorrect under the law, and these matters have been settled.
fucking lost today!
So these matters are not going to be entertained further by the body.
Okay.
I will not recognize further claims.
I am going to speak more.
If you wish to speak more, you will speak on a topic other than that one.
I will
You
speak
not slander other
also,
members'
the
vote.
money that we did not lose unaccountably from the Comerica case has not been reported on any of the FEC reports that have been submitted, and it should be. So I believe that Mr. Urban did not make this mistake on purpose. I believe it's an honest mistake. However, it has gone on 2 years, and at no point has it occurred to him, should we be reporting this money somewhere? It is because we know it's our money. We just don't know which, we did not ever settle which group was supposed to have it. Once it was determined that your unelected board was going to have it, that money should have been included on your reports. I believe that Mr. Urban is not yet qualified to be treasurer of this party. I would encourage him to work with Mr. Duke and learn more about the position so that our bench will be deeper. But at this point, I would not recommend Mr. Paul Urban. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I do appreciate your comment that it was recognized that should have been, and I would like to point out the fact that Ms. Canny just refused a settlement offer that would recognize that money to have been returned to the party, and that it is being pursued.
You made that
Made to the
That is a
attorney
lie.
for Ms. Canny, that is my understanding.
Point of order.
I am sorry, at no point has this, no
Ms. Canny has exhausted her time to
no
speak
one
in this
has
matter.
presented, Mr. Chair, this is a lie. This is a lie.
We're
No
not
one
going
has
to recognize
presented
the
an offer
out of
to
order
us.
speaker.
We have not
And
rejected.
this is a out of order statement.
No one has rejected any such offer. We has not been presented to us. And I honestly.
Appreciate Mrs. Canny's frank acknowledgement that the money belongs to the legitimate party that I led for the last 3 years in her statement. And I would note that she is still holding out a lawsuit that retains that money frozen in court presently.
I would also point out that Mr. Chadwick had every right to recover that money
I'd
after
ask Mr. Urban
the
to
court ruled
respond if
against
he likes.
us. He took no such
claims
steps.
made.
This is another reason his treasurer should not be reelected.
I disagree with that. This is an exact reason why he should be. He came in under this kind of environment, and he still took a party that was out of compliance with state law and federal law and brought us into compliance. That took an incredible amount of work. That is work ethic. On top of that is integrity exemplified. And that is integrity. And so I am very pro Paul Urban being our treasurer because he has exemplified both hard work and integrity. I'm not criticizing nobody, but I am absolutely bringing up and edifying Paul Urban and promoting him to be the treasurer. And I'm thankful that for this opportunity, but this is the kind of environment that he became treasurer under. And so this is why he should be the treasurer, because he, under the most pressure, continued to put forth the kind of work and integrity that brought this party into compliance with the law. And he will continue to do that. Thank you.
If Ms. Canny also wishes to continue to provide us, perhaps she could give some explanation for the party filings that she made in which funds were taken on behalf of the Libertarian Party of Michigan, also the Genesee Party, and then sent to a lawyer.
Okay, so one second, I would like to call the question. That's what I'm.
We have objection to calling the question.
Those funds were reported to
Excuse
the
me,
FEC.
Ms. Canny, you are not recognized any longer. Do we have objection?
Please call to order, Mr. Chair.
I asked the members to call to order repeatedly throughout this endeavor, and I present to you our members. So we have a motion to call the question, and we're gonna, without objection, we're gonna proceed into our vote. So we are gonna now do a standing counting vote. We will first consider, we have called the question without objection, and we're gonna move to our vote on the treasurer election. So we will start with Mr. Duke. And we will then proceed, and I will give a brief moment to Mr. Urban after the election if he wishes to speak to the accusations that are made about the filings, and if he does not, I respect that as well. So, with that, I would ask all who are in favor of Mr. Duke to please stand to be counted. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give it count, Mr. King. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at this table, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. And now for Mr. Urban, all those in favor, please stand to be counted. Thank you for the reminder. Is there anyone that wishes to vote for none of the above? I believe we have one vote.
Sure.
All right, so by a total of 41 to 31 to 1, I congratulate Mr. Andrew Duke on his election. All right. We have, I offered the moment for Mr. Urban to speak on the questions about the filings raised, or if you wish to let your filings speak for themselves, I respect that as well.
Mr. Chatterton?
One brief moment.
Orders of the day.
Mr. Urban, would you like to speak to the claims that are made?
Yeah, I may need a recap on real quick on them, but guys, here's the deal. When all this lawfare and craziness went on in your party, before I joined in 2024.
Please recognize the speaker, guys. Have some respect.
Here's the deal. You had 5 accounts with a bank, okay, that were basically taken by Comerica Bank. You had 5 accounts totaling over $38,000. That's what you had. And because of all this craziness and chaos, all that money has been locked in a court battle. I'm not here to pick sides and point fingers anymore, guys. This is craziness. And yes, Rich is right. I got thrust into all this frickin' bullcrap. The filings are all up to date, all of them.
But they're not right. They're incorrect.
I ask the floor to respect the recognized speaker.
He was recognized to address the
They
filings.
are incorrect because.
Come to order.
Not included.
Stop speaking unrecognized from the floor. This will not be tolerated, and we will listen to the treasurer.
It is what I will, guys, if any of you would like to come, I've always been open to talk about all of this and have talked to you, some of you that have reached out to me and asked those questions. All our filings with the FEC are correct. I have made sure all of our filings with MERTS, now Mitten, are all on file. Everything is up to date. I have busted my ass to streamline this treasury for you through all of this freaking nonsense. This is craziness. So yes, I will help Mr. Duke and do my due diligence with him. But come on. That's all I have to say. But thank you for allowing me to serve you guys to the best I can. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your fantastic service. Mr. Fuller, you're recognized.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for 10 minutes to consider amending the bylaws to eliminate the judicial committee by striking judicial committee from Article 3, Section 16, striking Article 4, Section 6, and striking Article 5.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend the rules to eliminate the judicial committee. Yes, thank you very much for including that. So, is there a second for the motion?
You seconded it right there.
It has been seconded. Thank you very much. So we will go into debate in consideration of a bylaws amendment. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. So we will vote on whether we will entertain this motion. All right. So all those in favor of entertaining this motion at this time, please raise your hand. All of those opposed, please raise your hand. I believe the motion fails. All right, our next order of business.
Mr. Chair, I move to suspend the rules to remove our convention chair and replace them with our elected chair.
Okay. We have a motion to suspend the rules to replace myself as the meeting chair, to be replaced with the newly elected chair. All right, do we have a second? I believe I heard. And I believe it is appropriate to go immediately to a vote on that matter.
Yes.
I would ask that if you do wish to consider debate, that we have a consideration of that. If there's no objection, I'm happy to allow debate on the matter.
The only thing I want to say is that outburst during the treasurer election was very inappropriate of our chair.
Inappropriate
So
of a member
I'm
of
sorry,
the treasurer.
I have to proceed with this because I can't just sit by on that one.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to replace the convention chair, and we're in discussion of that motion. Do we have any further discussion? All right, Mr. Rinder, you're recognized.
I move to call the question.
Okay, is there objection to calling the question? I see
Point
one
of
further
information,
speaker.
Mr. Chairman.
What is the point of information?
Is this a vote to replace the chair or a vote to suspend the rules to allow consideration of replacing the chair?
I'm treating it as the motion to replace the chair.
One motion.
So we're in discussion of this motion.
Requires 2/3.
It will require a majority vote under the bylaw for a majority vote to roll. All right, so do we have any further discussion? All right, that said, we will then proceed to a vote. We can do hand raising. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
This is in favor of replacing.
That's correct, yes. All right, all those opposed, please raise your hand. This is a rather close vote. I'm going to do another counted one. So I'll go to a standing counted vote on the matter. All right, so with that, all of those in favor, if anyone wishes to gather anyone from outside, I will happily give a moment. Once Mr. Wolf returns, we'll get into the vote. All right, thank you very much. I believe we've got all of our delegates present in the hall, so we will continue with the vote. So we are considering a majority motion as to whether or not the meeting chair shall be replaced with the newly elected chair of the party. So all of those in favor of that motion, please stand. All right, I'll come around and count. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me start over with that. I got a little bit of mess up there. I'll punch you with this. So, all right, are you in your position? All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 31 votes in favor, and if I could ask now those opposed to please stand. All right, I have counted a vote of 31 to 37. So therefore, the vote to remove the chair fails, and I thank the body for their vote of confidence.
Yes. I rise to offer party censure the chair. His comments were made outside of what is allowed by the bylaws and by the rules during the Treasury debate, and removal is not required, nor did I think it was necessary, but this is still a political party, and rules should still be followed, and the correct would be a censure. And so I move to suspend the rules and censure the chair.
Okay, so this will be another majority vote. We have a motion before the body to censure the chair for comments made during the treasurer election debate. And I will open the floor to discussion on the matter. Mr. Bowman, I see you have the microphone.
I think Mr. Fulmer was at first.
Okay, Mr. Fulmer.
I rise against the motion. Censuring is always pointless. Nothing good ever happens of it, and it always wastes our time. We should always vote no to censure and never do that baloney again.
Thank you, Mr. Fulmer. Mr. Bowman?
Yeah, I'm going to, not that I don't feel the angst of those who would like the censure, but at this point, feel-good motions, virtue signaling, as some people call it, trying to express venting motions, venting speeches, things that are not going to have a substantive effect other than to make people feel good because they're arguing for what they feel in their hearts, I see as being dilatory and a waste of time at this point when we have very little time to do a lot of business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. You're welcome to comment the debate.
I watched this organization argue about the 2023 minutes for 25 minutes on something completely pointless. So I withdraw my censure on, I withdraw my censure.
So yeah, if we need to do a quick procedural thing to just walk away from it. So if there's no objection, the motion will be withdrawn. It does belong to the body, however. So if no one objects, we will resume the agenda.
I'd like to speak in objecting to this. I'm in support of Mr. Fulmer. I mean, you and I are not best of friends, but I don't find this to be productive or beneficial to the business of the party at hand. So I understand.
With that, and with the request to, without the objection to withdraw, we'll proceed with our agenda. We'll consider our assistant treasurer next. We are approximately reaching the time allotted in the substitute agenda for lunch. So if I may make a proactive suggestion, after the assistant treasurer, we could break for lunch. There's no formal proceeding for that for a lunch program. Everyone is welcome to get a lunch of their own. We can pick back up after lunch with the district elections if that's not objectionable to the body. However, our agenda has us.
Point of information, Mr. Chair? Yes. I reviewed our current bylaws and I do not see an assistant treasurer position that could be voted on.
I believe the assistant treasurer is a statutorily defined position. It is provided under, I believe, the FEC regulations. It is not a voting position in the party. It is simply a support position for the treasurer. So it is not called for in our bylaws to be elected in that. It would be appropriate for this body to conduct it. It would also be appropriate for the LEC to appoint a treasurer, assistant treasurer if they so desire. So those, I believe, are the options before the body. So we did include it in our agenda, so we would need a motion either laid on the table or to suspend the rules to amend the agenda. Probably laying on the table is a little easier. So we do enter into the assistant treasurer consideration. Nominations are opened, or as I explained some options there, the body is welcome to proceed with any of those if they wish. So, Mr. Broomgart, you may be recognized.
Mr. Chair, point of information,
Yes.
is this position's obviously controversial right now, but under your understanding and interpretation of laws and bylaws, is this position a voting member of the Michigan Libertarian Party, LEC?
No, it is not. It is not a voting position. It is purely a support position for the treasurer, and I think permanently established around their FEC responsibilities. Ms. Kennedy, did you wish to speak?
Yeah, I would nominate myself. I have over 20 years of FEC and state party filing experience, and I would also be willing to step down and allow Mr. Duke to appoint his own assistant or let the board appoint their own assistant after we get through this. This will just get us past this without endlessly arguing about it.
Okay, we have a nomination for Miss Angela Thornton Canning. Do we have a second for that nomination? We do. Do we have any additional nominations? All right.
I'll nominate Paul Urban.
All right, Mr. Urban, do you accept the nomination? We have a yes. So with that, we have 2 candidates. Are there any further nominations?
I move to suspend the rules to take this off the agenda. It should be at the discretion of our new treasurer.
Okay, do we have a second for that motion? Second. All right, so is there, yes, Mr. Fulmer?
Is a suspension of the rules in order during an election?
I will say yes, because I think we'll reach the same outcome regardless. If the body wishes to proceed with this, let's hear the quick vote on the suspension if they want to do this at all. And then we'll proceed with the election in that case. So I will vote in order. Let's see, so Mr. Ringard, did you have a comment on that matter?
I just have another point of information.
Yes.
If we decide to, I guess, if we don't elect one today, is the proper procedure that the elected treasurer chooses it carte blanche, or would it require an official vote of the LEC to make that official?
I believe that the chair would have the authority to offer an appointment, and unless that appointment was contradicted by the LEC, it would be in order, or if the chair wished to defer to the board, it would be appropriate in that case. So the chair could formally make the appointment into their authorities, and if the board is accepting that, they can do that, or it'd be up to the chair's discretion not to, and leave it to the board, if that answers your question. Mr. Sliva?
Point of information.
Mr. Roman, you were to alternate Mr. Sliva.
If this position isn't in our bylaws, is this election even binding?
It would be binding as an action of the convention. However, though it, so yeah, I will say it, yes. Mr. Roman.
I had a point of, or actually a request for information and then followed by a motion.
Okay.
The request for information is, are we going to be then electing the judicial committee immediately after lunch?
That'll be up to the body when we choose to adjourn to lunch. It's currently planned for before lunch.
Okay. But next?
It'll be after congressional district elections.
Thank you. I move to call the question.
Okay, so we are currently considering a motion to suspend the rules on skipping the assistant treasurer election, which will leave it to the LEC or the chair to deal with later, or proceeding with the election as we've started. So we'll start off, we'll go to the vote, and we will say all of those in favor of removing the assistant treasurer election, please raise your hand. Okay, and all of those opposed? All right, so the agenda has been amended, or we will move it to the table, whatever appropriate. It's the same vote threshold, so the body has clearly expressed their will that they do not wish to hold that election today. All right, so that brings us then to our caucus by congressional district. So in this portion of the business, it was my suggestion earlier that we have reached the planned lunchtime, so I put it before the body. If there's no action, I will continue with the elections by the district. Otherwise, if we want to adjourn for lunch, I would welcome a motion to do so, and we'll pick back up where we left off afterwards. But we are at the point now to consider caucusing by congressional district.
Lunch first. Motion.
Do we have a desire to go to lunch?
Is lunch ready? Because it doesn't look like
There's not any lunch plans formally prepared. It's a break to go get your own lunch.
Move to recess for lunch until 1:30 and resume business at that time.
Okay, we have a motion to recess for 1 hour for lunch in a second. Is there any opposition to this motion? We have some opposition, so we'll welcome the floor for any comments that wish to speak for or against. Mr. Fulmer.
Jim Fuller, Libertarians of Macomb County. We got a lot of work business we got to do. I'm fat enough, I don't need to eat lunch, but I mean, the rest of you guys who do, you can find some other way to do it. Let's get some more work done, eh?
Do we have Any further commentary?
Yeah, I didn't get to speak on my motion. Can I do that?
Certainly, yeah.
I also don't care about eating, however, there's a lot of people in this room, I'm sure some of them are diabetic and some of them are just hungry. We don't have lunch here, so let's respect that and give people an hour to go to lunch, for God's sakes.
All right, we'll go to a vote on the matter. So shall we recess for 1 hour to provide time for people to get some lunch? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. This is to recess for lunch for 1 hour, yes. We are voting yes votes, I've seen a good number. Let's go on to our no votes. If you are opposed to recess for lunch, please raise your hand. All right, the motion passes. We will